Happy weekend. Hope you are staying sane in the middle of all these stimulus craziness and hope you are staying safe and doing well today. A lot has happened this week with the stimulus negotiations and the back and forth from Congress. And unfortunately, Congress is yet to pass any stimulus package. Even though people are struggling, people are going through so much financial pain, Congress has still not seen the urgency to move quicker in the best interest of the people. In fact, a new report that we're seeing right now from CNN has shown that more Americans have fallen into poverty after the federal stimulus programs ended. And if you watch this video till the end, there is a message for you, for everyone who is watching this video right now, from billionaire Mark Cuban. So Mark Cuban is a billionaire investor who called for Congress to send $2,000 every 2 weeks to millions of Americans out there. And he's been very vocal about the stimulus, the second stimulus checks, and more stimulus support to struggling Americans. And he has a call to action that may get us a second stimulus check or another stimulus bill to pass if we follow those directions. So be sure to stick to the end of this video. So here's the deal right now. In this update, we'll highlight the impact of the lack of stimulus agreement from Congress. But before we dive in, if this is your first time stopping by this channel, welcome. Consider subscribing now to join this amazing community to stay informed on the latest stimulus updates, economic updates, and financial tips. And one more thing, drop a like on this video if you support a second stimulus check to the people. So according to this article from CNN, we did see that a study that was conducted by Columbia University Center on Poverty and Social Policy. And according to the study that was conducted by Columbia, they found that the stimulus checks, the first stimulus checks and enhanced jobless benefits, lifted more than 18 million people out of poverty, out of monthly poverty in April. 18 million people, that's a large number of people. But the expiration of the $600 assistance sent the monthly poverty rate to 16.7% in September, higher than the spring and the pre-pandemic levels. Only 4.3 million people, according to this report, were kept out of poverty last month, mainly through the broadening of the unemployment program to freelancers, the self-employed, independent contractors, and certain people affected by the virus. So here's the deal. How soon will Congress act, knowing that 18 million people who were given some type of funding were lifted out of poverty, and now seeing that the poverty rate has dipped to 16.7% in September, and instead of keeping 18 million people out of poverty, the stimulus funding or the provisions that we have right now is keeping 4.3 million people out of poverty. So this is not acceptable. Congress needs to act quicker and do something in order to help people who are struggling right now. And this article goes further to say that without the relief package we saw in March, so the CARES Act, the poverty rates would have been higher over the last 7 months. So this goes to highlight that the stimulus is really, really important to keep the economy going. And it does highlight something important here too. It says that the increases have been particularly severe for Black and Hispanic Americans, as well as for children, according to the research that Columbia University did. So this is very, very interesting, because this comes at a time when the reports out there are showing that more than 6 million households missed their rent or mortgage payment in September. Let that sink in. More than 6 million people, 6 million households, American households, missed their rent or mortgage payment in September. This is a large number. That just shows that people are not just food insecure. People are also going through housing insecurity. So there is a huge risk of eviction going on right now. And the stimulus is needed. The quicker they act on a stimulus agreement, the better it will be for the lives of the American people. And we also saw that 100,000 restaurants have closed 6 months into the pandemic. So this report came out a couple of weeks ago, or a few weeks ago, and they did highlight that 100,000 restaurants closed in this pandemic alone, and more restaurants will likely be closing if nothing is done. So it does say that 40% of restaurant operators believe it is unlikely that their businesses will be afloat 6 months from now without additional relief packages from the government. So small businesses are feeling the heat of all of this. And these small businesses, if they can't get the funding they need, they are going to lay more people off. The U.S. airlines are already laying off in the tens of thousands. So we do need Congress to come and act together in the best interest of the people on behalf of the American economy, for the sake of getting the economy back on track and get the stimulus to the people. So right now we are also seeing that the unemployment aid is running out. So the $300 per week federal unemployment benefit, which the president signed in the executive order, is running out for millions of people. And people are becoming desperate, or people will become desperate when this happens. Right now, people are desperate, but we'll see more desperation if nothing is done to provide more stimulus to the people. So this is very, 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 very annoying to see that Congress is sitting on this stimulus and kicking the can down the road. It's been over 5 months since they started talking about a second stimulus, or since the HEROES Act passed in the House, and nothing has been done since then. And if you talk about the time from when they've been dealing with the whole stimulus negotiations till now, it's just lost time. We can't even count the hours or the days they spent talking about stimulus with nothing happening. And the other report we're seeing right now is how people use the stimulus checks. So the Republicans have been very cautious, or they said they are so cautious about having wasteful spending or an outlandish spending, because they're trying to cut down on the stimulus amount. But the reports out there are actually showing that people who got the stimulus checks used the money to pay down debt, and they didn't use the money to just spend on things that are not reasonable or unessential things. According to this report out here from Investopedia, it does say that the survey that was taken shows that 36% of the stimulus funds were put into savings account, and then 35% were used to pay debt. Okay, you may be watching this and saying 36% of people saved their stimulus. Yes, here's the deal. This is a period of uncertainty, and we're going through uncertain times. And according to this report, it did say that the unprecedented high uncertainty about the duration and the economic impact of the pandemic, the social distancing rules, the restrictions on in-person shopping, and the delayed rent payments. According to these economists, they're saying that they may all have contributed to the small estimates they are finding. So if people are saving, it's because people are not guaranteed, or people don't feel secure. So people are saving the money and not spending the money on unnecessary things. So if the Republicans are worried about this very stimulus package being too high, they need to take a look at this report right now. This report shows that 34% of people who got the first stimulus checks used them to pay down the debt. Let me repeat that. 34.5% of people used their first stimulus checks to pay down debt. And then 36.4% of people saved their first stimulus checks. Then we also saw that the average of people who spent their stimulus checks on essentials were 18.2% of people. So 18.2% of people who got the stimulus used them on essential stuff. So why in the world are we saying that this is wasteful spending? This is not wasteful spending, because people are actually in need of this stimulus, and people need this stimulus in order to get them through whatever we're seeing right now. So here's the message for you from Mark Cuban. I did say if you stick to the end of this video, I'll let you know what Mark Cuban, billionaire Mark Cuban, who has been in support of the stimulus check to struggling Americans, and he does have a message to everyone who's watching this video right now. So here's what Mark Cuban said. So Mark Cuban said that I would ask the American people, so he's asking you to speak to your representative and to explain how important this stimulus program is to them, to you and your family, and to your community. So he says, I would go to senators and congressmen directly and ask them to put constituents and their needs over the party. So again, here's the message for people who are watching this video right now. So if you are watching this video, you need to go out there and put some pressure on your elected official. Again, let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section below. While we wait for Congress to finalize the next stimulus package, you may have to pick up a side hustle or a side gig to get some cash or make some extra money from home. Be sure to check out the video on the left to discover the one-of-a-kind website that pays you hundreds to thousands of dollars to just read out loud. This is a free, simple, and exclusive side hustle, and in this video, you'll discover the step-by-step process to get started today. And if you want the best-kept secret to increase your credit score fast, check out the video on the right. Don't forget to help others find this video quicker by liking this video and sharing it. And also be sure to subscribe now as we track the latest progress on the next stimulus package. See you in the next update. Be safe and thank you for watching.